Are your thoughts really your own? I mean, really, what if I told you that every day you're being nudged, guided, and sometimes flat out manipulated by a hidden playbook? This isn't a conspiracy theory, it's just psychology. Advertisers, politicians, and influencers are all using a powerful set of tools to sway your decisions. We all want to believe we're the captains of our own ship, making clear-headed choices. But the truth is, our minds are being quietly targeted in ways we barely notice. Messages crafted by experts, people who know our own psychological triggers better than we do, are everywhere. They know our fears, our desires, and exactly which buttons to press to get us to buy, to vote, or to believe. This isn't about simple tricks. These are sophisticated strategies, polished over decades and now supercharged by technology. AI-powered marketing can deliver uniquely persuasive messages right to your screen, making them feel more personal and harder to resist. These tactics work because they sneak past our logical brain and talk directly to our subconscious needs, our need to feel safe, to belong, to be seen. This video is your defense guide. We're going to pull back the curtain on the most common and powerful persuasion tactics out there. By the end, you won't just know about them, you'll see them everywhere, and you'll have the tools to build a mental shield, ensuring the choices you make are actually yours. To understand this, we have to start with the godfather of influence, Dr. Robert Cialdini. He went undercover to figure out how the pros get us to say yes. He found 6 key principles that are the bedrock of almost every persuasive attempt we face. Think of this as learning the secret language of persuasion. Tactic 1. Reciprocity. The free gift trap. You walk into a store, someone hands you a free sample, and suddenly you feel this weird obligation to buy the full-size product. Sound familiar? That's reciprocity. We are hardwired to give back when we receive something. It just feels wrong to take without giving. Marketers use this by offering you something free up front. But it's not generosity. It's a strategy to create a social debt. That free guide you downloaded for your email address, that's the price of admission to their sales funnel. You're now psychologically warmer to their pitches because they gave you something first. The free software trial works the same way. By the time it ends, you've invested your time and feel a little bit indebted. The solution: recognize the move. When you get something for free, just say to yourself, this is the reciprocity principle in action. Is it a real gift or a hook? Framing it that way lets you accept the freebie without feeling like you owe them your wallet. Your only obligation is to say thank you. Tactic 2. Commitment and consistency. The unseen agreement. We have a deep need to be consistent with our past selves. Once we say or do something, we feel this internal pressure to stick with it. Persuaders love this. They use a method called the foot in the door technique. They start with a tiny, easy request, one you'll probably agree to. Then they follow up with a much bigger one. Because you want to stay consistent, you're far more likely to say yes again. Think about it. You like a brand's page on social media. That's a tiny commitment. Next, you see their posts. Then you click a link, and before you know it, you're buying their product to maintain that consistent identity you've built. The same goes for signing an online petition. A week later, you get an email asking for a donation. You've already shown you support the cause, so the pressure to be consistent and donate is real. The solution? Be wary of small, easy yeses. Before you agree to anything, ask yourself, where could this lead? And remember, it is not a sign of weakness to change your mind. Real consistency is being true to your values, not to a decision someone nudged you into. Tactic 3. Social proof. The echo chamber effect. When we're unsure what to do, we look around to see what everyone else is doing. That's social proof. It's the engine behind trends and viral videos. The logic is simple. If so many people are doing it, it must be right. Advertisers are relentless with this. Phrases like bestseller, most popular, or over 1 million happy customers are all social proof in action. Online reviews are the king of modern social proof. A product with thousands of 5-star reviews feels like a safe bet, even if we know nothing about it. Influencer marketing is built on this. When someone you admire recommends a product, it feels like a trusted friend is giving you advice, not a paid actor. The solution: question the crowd. When you see social proof, get skeptical. Are those reviews real? Is that influencer being paid? Does this actually work for me, or am I just following the herd? Popularity and quality are not the same thing. Something could be popular because of a huge marketing budget, not because it's any good. Tactic 4. Authority, the expert illusion. We're taught from a young age to trust authority figures, doctors, teachers, experts, so when a message comes from someone who looks like an expert, we tend to switch off our critical thinking. This is why you see actors in lab coats selling toothpaste. The symbols of authority, uniforms, fancy titles, impressive credentials, are often enough to make us comply. Online, authority can be easily faked. A guru with a slick website can seem like an expert, even if their advice is nonsense. Political groups do this by citing reports from think tanks that sound official but are actually funded by organizations with a heavy bias. The solution: question their credentials. Ask yourself, is this person a real expert, or do they just look the part? And more importantly, what do they gain if I believe them? Separate the message from the messenger. Even real experts can be wrong, so their advice should still hold up to scrutiny. If the decision is big, get a second opinion. Tactic 5. Liking the best friend Gambit. It's simple. We say yes to people we like. Salespeople are masters of this. They're trained to find common ground with you. You're from Chicago? I love Chicago. To build rapport, it creates a subtle bond and makes it much harder to turn them down. Social media has put this on steroids. We follow influencers because we like them. We feel like we know them. This creates a one-sided friendship, a parasocial relationship, where their recommendations feel like advice from a buddy. Brands try to do this too, using a relatable voice or a funny mascot to make you like the company itself. The solution: mentally separate the person from the product. Ask yourself this one simple question: would I buy this if it was being sold by someone I can't stand? Judge the deal on its merits, not on how much you like the person selling it. Tactic 6. Scarcity, the ticking clock. We value things more when we think they're running out. This is the scarcity principle, and it triggers our deep-seated fear of missing out. FOMO. Advertisers create this feeling with phrases like limited time offer, only 2 left in stock, or flash sale. You see it everywhere online. Countdown timers ticking away on sales pages, warnings that 15 other people are looking at the same hotel room. These are designed to create a sense of urgency, pressuring you to act now before you have time to think. The goal is to short-circuit your rational brain. The solution: when you feel that urgent pressure, pause. That feeling is your red flag. Take a breath and ask, is this scarcity real, or is it fake pressure to make me buy? Most of the time, the limited offer will be back next week. Give yourself a 24-hour cooling-off period. If you still want it tomorrow, you can make a much smarter choice. Advertisers have their own special set of tricks designed to work on us while we're scrolling, watching, and shopping. Tactic 7. Anchoring and price framing, the decoy price. Our brains don't judge prices in a vacuum. We judge them in comparison. The anchoring bias is our tendency to rely on the first piece of information we see. Retailers use this by showing a high original price next to a sale price. That high price is the anchor, making the sale price look like a steal, even if the original was totally inflated. A sneakier version is the decoy effect. Imagine a movie theater sells a small popcorn for $3 and a large for $7. But then they add a medium for $6. Suddenly the large for only $1 more seems like an amazing deal. That medium popcorn is a decoy, designed only to make the large look better. You see this in subscription plans, menus everywhere. The solution: ignore the first price you see. Before you even look at the price tag, decide for yourself what something is worth to you. This sets your own anchor, so you're not swayed by the one the seller provides. Tactic 8. Emotional triggers. Selling a feeling, not a product. People don't buy products. They buy better versions of themselves. The best ads don't talk about features, they talk about feelings. They sell happiness, security, status, or freedom. A car ad isn't selling a car, it's selling adventure. A jewelry ad isn't selling diamonds, it's selling eternal love. They do this with storytelling. They create a mini-movie designed to make you feel a certain way, and then the product shows up as the hero that delivers that feeling. The music, the colors, the lighting, it's all designed to hit you right in the emotions, making the message stick. The solution: name the emotion. When you see an ad, ask, what feeling are they trying to sell me? Once you identify the emotional hook, you can unhook yourself from it and evaluate the product logically. Does this beer really create lifelong bonds, or is it just fermented barley? While advertisers want your wallet, Propagandists want your mind. The stakes are higher here, as these tactics are meant to shape your entire view of the world. Tactic 9. Glittering generalities and vague language. The freedom fallacy. Propagandists use broad, emotionally powerful words linked to concepts we all value, but that have no concrete meaning. Words like freedom, strength, hope, and change are called glittering generalities. A politician who promises to fight for the people sounds great, but what does that actually mean? This tactic works because it feels good and stops us from asking hard questions. We have a positive emotional reaction and are less likely to demand specific policies or evidence. It allows a movement to gather support from people who all have very different ideas of what the words mean in reality. The solution: demand the details. When you hear these big shiny words, your alarm should go off. Ask how. How will you deliver freedom? What policies create strength? Don't be fooled by the glitter. If they can't give you a concrete answer, they're manipulating, not informing. Tactic 10. Name-calling and demonization. The enemy maker. One of the oldest tricks in the book. Create an us versus them narrative. This tactic tries to discredit an opponent by slapping a negative label on them, encouraging people to reject them without ever looking at the evidence. Using words like radical, elite, or any ist label is a way to bypass debate and trigger a purely emotional tribal response. It creates a scapegoat to blame for problems. It turns complex issues into a simple good versus evil fight, which is psychologically easy, but intellectually lazy. Once someone is successfully demonized, everything they say can be dismissed without a second thought. The solution: see name-calling for what it is, a distraction. It's a sign that the person can't or won't engage with the actual argument. Ignore the label and focus on the substance. Resist the us versus them frame. Insist on a battle of ideas, not a battle of insults. So how do you fight back? Knowledge is power. Now that you can name these tactics, you can start building your immunity. Step 1. The awareness pause. This is the single most powerful thing you can do. Persuasion works best when you react on impulse. Just creating a 5-second pause between the message and your response gives your rational brain a chance to come online. Step 2. Question the intent. In that pause, ask 2 simple questions. Who is saying this, and what do they want me to do? Identifying the source and their motive puts the whole thing in context. Step 3. Unhook from the emotion. Name the feeling they're trying to create. Fear, hope, guilt. By naming it, you get control over it. Then you can analyze the message based on logic, not manipulation. Step 4. Make them do the work. When someone is trying to persuade you, flip the script. Ask open-ended questions like, can you walk me through why this is the best option? Or, help me understand the long-term benefits here. This forces them to justify their position, and often exposes the weak spots in their argument. Learning to see the world this way is a process. If this was valuable, give this video a like to help it reach more people. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next video. And now I want to hear from you. What persuasion tactic have you noticed being used on you recently? Share your story in the comments. Let's learn from each other. The world is never going to stop trying to persuade you. With the growth of AI, the messages will only get more personal and more sophisticated. But you are not a puppet. Every single tactic we talked about today loses its power the moment you see it for what it is. By practicing these defensive techniques, the pause, the questioning, the emotional detachment, you're doing more than just being a smart consumer. You are exercising your mental freedom. You are declaring that your mind is your own territory. The goal isn't to become a cynic who trusts no one. The goal is to become a discerning person who can tell the difference between genuine connection and covert manipulation. So next time you're faced with a rule, a sale, or an argument, ask yourself, does this serve who I want to be, or does it just make me easier to manage? Congratulations, you've just taken another step toward mastering psychological self-defense. Here on Psych-Jitsu, we dive deep into neuroscience-based tactics, psychological strategies, and martial arts mindset training to help you protect your mind and navigate any situation with confidence. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an upload. Psych-Jitsu isn't just theory, it's your first line of defense.